Imagine if something you enjoy every day was silently robbing you of the most valuable things you have, your time and your freedom. What if I told you that this innocent pleasure is shaping your habits, controlling your choices, and slowly pushing your goals further out of reach? This video is not here to tell you to give up joy, but to reveal the hidden cost behind certain daily indulgences, and why most people never realize they've traded control of their life for a quick hit of comfort. We're going to dive deep into the psychology behind why this pleasure feels so good in the moment but leaves you emptier over time. And I'll show you how to spot when it's crossing the line from a harmless escape to a silent prison. By the end, you'll not only understand the trap, you'll know exactly how to break free from it without losing the things that make life enjoyable. So think about this. How many times have you told yourself, just 5 more minutes, only to lose hours you'll never get back? How many opportunities have slipped away because that one thing kept you distracted? If you've ever felt like your days vanish without you moving closer to the life you want, this might be the most important video you watched this year. Television, Neil Postman would argue, didn't just change how we consume information, it rewired the very way we think. Politics stopped being about deep debate and policy, and started to look more like a talent show where charisma beats competence. Education, once about nurturing critical minds, became a race for flashy visuals and quick dopamine hits. Even religion and commerce weren't spared. Sermons started competing with entertainment value, and business presentations looked more like commercials than real strategy. When everything is framed as spectacle, it's easy to forget that the core issues haven't disappeared. They've just been dressed up in glitter. The danger here isn't just that we're amused, it's that we're amused instead of informed. Imagine watching a political debate where the audience reacts more to a witty joke than to a well-researched plan, or scrolling through financial news but only clicking on headlines with dramatic thumbnails. We're being trained to respond to style over substance, and that's exactly how our perception of reality gets blurred. A leader with the right lighting and a confident smile can suddenly seem more competent than someone with real solutions. But no. Stage presence. And this doesn't happen in isolation. It's a loop. The more we consume spectacle, the more we expect it soon. A classroom without interactive screens feels boring. A church service without a light show feels uninspiring. A product launch without hype feels untrustworthy. This addiction to the entertaining version of reality chips away at our patience for anything that demands effort. And that's where the real shift begins. The line between what's important and what's entertaining gets dangerously thin. Reading is like weightlifting for the brain. It forces the mind to slow down, focus, and create mental images from mere words. On a page, when you read, you're not just absorbing information, you're actively building meaning, connecting ideas, and holding multiple concepts in your mind at once. That's why a good book can leave you mentally exhausted in the best possible way. The same way a solid workout leaves your muscles buzzing. Television, on the other hand, does the heavy lifting for you. It delivers ready-made images, sounds, and emotions, so your brain can just sit back and coast. No assembly required. Here's the catch. When your brain isn't challenged, it gets lazy. A person who reads regularly develops sharper focus and better problem-solving skills simply because they practice thinking deeply. For example, someone who spends an hour reading Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari will walk away with a richer mental map of history and human behavior than someone who spends that same hour watching quick-hit documentaries that rush through complex ideas in 10-second soundbites. One activity demands engagement. The other encourages passive consumption. The real trouble comes when we get so used to passivity that effort starts to feel unnatural. If the brain is used to spoon-fed content, picking up a book feels like work. And that's a dangerous shift, because without the mental muscle that reading builds, we lose our ability to handle complexity. And once complexity feels uncomfortable, it becomes all too easy to choose the shallow, easy option every time. When everything has to be bite-sized and fun, depth becomes an endangered species. Complex ideas don't survive well in a culture obsessed with instant gratification. Think about it. Nuanced discussions about economics, philosophy, or science can't be condensed into a 30-second viral clip without losing their essence. Yet, that's exactly what happens in a world where attention spans are measured in swipes. We end up with a society that knows about many things, but understands very few of them. It's like replacing a full-course meal with a diet of snacks. Sure, You're eating, but you're not nourishing yourself. Entertainment-driven culture feeds us the sugar high of excitement without the sustaining nutrition of deep thinking. We can all recall catchy quotes from famous thinkers, but how many have actually read their works in full? The result is a population fluent in sound bites, but illiterate in substance, able to repeat slogans, but unable to defend or analyze them. The real problem isn't that we lack access to deep content, it's that we've been trained to avoid it. A 3-hour documentary is too long, but we'll binge-watch a series for 6 hours straight without complaint. Why? Because the series is designed to entertain, not to challenge. And every time we choose the easier, flashier option, the ability to reason deeply takes another step backward. Orwell feared a future where we'd be crushed by an iron fist, censored into silence, and stripped of knowledge by force. Huxley feared something more subtle, that we'd drown in so much pleasure, so much distraction, that we'd willingly stop caring about truth. And if we look around today, Huxley's prediction feels eerily on point. No one had to burn the books, we simply stopped opening them. No one banned critical conversations, we just scrolled past them in favor of cute videos and gossip. This shift is dangerous precisely because it doesn't feel dangerous. A dictatorship sparks resistance. Mindless entertainment sparks complacency. When life feels comfortable enough, the urge to question, to dig deeper, to confront uncomfortable truths, fades. It's like living in a house that's slowly flooding, but the water is warm and soothing, so you just stay seated, telling yourself it's fine. That's how entire societies sleepwalk into decline. The scariest part, this isn't a conspiracy, engineered by some shadowy elite. It's a trap we willingly walk into. We build our own digital cages with every click, every play next episode, every time we choose distraction over engagement. And by the time we realize the walls are closing in, we are too entertained to care. It's a strange paradox. Never before in history have we had so much access to knowledge, and yet, we're using that access mostly to distract ourselves. The endless stream of entertainment is like a gentle fog, clouding our awareness without us even realizing it. Hours disappear, not in moments of deep focus or creation, but in passive scrolling, binge-watching, or playing games designed to keep us hooked. By the time we wake up, we wonder where our day, or worse, our years went. The damage isn't just about lost time, it's about lost capacity. The more we feed on quick, easy entertainment, the less we're able to sit with silence, to wrestle with big questions, or to think through problems without external stimulation. It's like our mental muscles are atrophying while we're too distracted to notice. And because the decline is gradual, we don't feel the loss until deep thinking feels almost impossible. Meanwhile, the world keeps moving. Opportunities pass by, challenges grow, and while some people sharpen their minds and build resilience, others remain blissfully and dangerously entertained. By the time they realize how much ground they've lost, catching up feels overwhelming. So now that you've seen how these subtle pleasures chip away at your time, your focus, and your freedom, the real question is, what are you going to do about it? Will you keep letting them drain your potential, or will you start taking back control, one intentional choice at a time? Because here's the truth, nothing changes until you decide it will. Look at your days differently starting now. Ask yourself, is this moment I'm spending right now building the life I want, or is it just numbing me from the life I have? That's not an easy question, but it's one worth asking if you truly value your future. The difference between those who drift and those who thrive is rarely talent, it's awareness and discipline. If you're ready to keep sharpening that awareness and building the mindset that leads to real freedom, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. The next video could be the one that changes how you see everything, but only if you're here to watch it. So, will you take that step, or will you let another day slip away?